Recording in progress.
I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Conservation Commission and Wetlands Agency meeting to order November 14th, 2024 at 6:30. Roll call, please.
Craig Palmer.
Here.
Tom Murphy.
Here.
Ed Walton. Joe Paletta.
Here.
Luigi Cavallo.
Here.
Ed Norton.
Here.
Myself. Charles Bellevaux. Andrew Lampart. Doug Ansel.
We'll make Mike Jett acting secretary. 3, public participation. Anybody from the public wishing to speak?
Keep going.
Just get the red light there. You gotta.
This is a speaker, where the speaker is.
Yeah, you got it on the other one.
Oh, gotta
Yes.
move seats. Excuse me. Okay, thank you. Good evening, I'm Catherine Camera, 31 Cottage Place. I've tried to make a meeting here for a long time, and it hasn't worked out. Last meeting, I missed you by about 5 minutes. I'm here because I want to exercise my First Amendment right to criticize my government. See, here in Watertown, when you get appointed to your position, there's no way to remove you. There is, well, I shouldn't say that. There is a way to remove you. If you do something as part of your position here, we can file what's called a 406 complaint. But you can do anything you want personally. You can not pay your taxes. You can kill somebody. You can rob, steal, whatever. And we, the people, can't remove you. It's up to you to resign. And honestly, I don't think that's good for any of you, because it's a reflection on your commission when people do the wrong thing, whether it's on the commission or it's personally. And I bring this up because presently, in the Waterbury Superior Court, there's a case by the name of, entitled Sheila DeJesus, Administratrix of the Estate of Joshua DeJesus versus Town of Watertown. And that's a lawsuit that is the result of one of your commissioners' behavior. And it says in the lawsuit, and I'm quite certain all of you know who your commissioner is, and it says in the lawsuit that the property was modified without seeking permits from the Town of Watertown. The property was modified in such a way that exclusive access to the third floor of the property was provided by a stairway that did not comply with the state building code, fire safety code, and was a threat to public safety. The property was being used as an illegal 3-family house. The commissioner did not obtain a permit or certificate of occupancy from the Town of Watertown for the third floor occupancy. The Town of Watertown had no knowledge of the use of the property as a 3-family residence. The Town of Watertown had no knowledge of the addition of the illegal third floor apartment to the property. This is filed, by the way, by the Town of Watertown. You can find it on the website. Our town filed this against one of your commissioners. He took efforts to conceal and did conceal from the town the above discussed modifications to the property. He took efforts to conceal and did conceal from the town the use of the property as a 3-family residence. He allowed use of the property as an illegal 3-family residence despite his knowledge that it had not been inspected by the fire marshal for safety, including fire safety, as required by the municipal codes and ordinances of the town. So you have a commissioner who hasn't followed the ordinances of our town and municipal codes. Is that right to you? Because it's not right to me. I would have thought 2 years ago, when someone was died in this fire, someone I knew died in this fire, that this person would have resigned. And shame that they didn't. Because I don't know how you can all sit there with someone who's making decisions for this town, and these are the decisions that they made or didn't make, and someone died. If any of you have adult children, would you want the phone call that your child died in a fire? I don't think so. So I'm going to urge you to maybe speak with your fellow commissioner and ask them to resign. It would look better for you from the public's view. I know there's plenty of people who think, oh, that's okay what happened, but let me tell you, there are plenty of people who think it's wrong. So I think maybe it would be appreciated if you could give that some thought. Thank you.
Was there anybody else from the public?
Oh, hey. Friends and neighbors, how you doing? Good. Dan Cochiola with 15 Flintlock Road. Just want to say a few words regarding the public hearing tonight on the waters of Winnemog. So appreciate your time.
You can speak under the public hearing, sir, if you want.
I could wait for it?
There'll be another public participation under
I'd be happy
that
to.
application, all right?
Yeah, no worries.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else from the public? Thank you. Yes, sir.
Hi, Dave Giordano, 589 Hamilton Avenue, Watertown. Not sure if this pertains to this meeting. The dredging that's going on in the corner of Hamilton Avenue, I would just like to ask, are there going to be any safety measures put in to prevent vehicles from entering this now body of water that is deep enough to totally engulf a car? So it's just something, look what's going on over there. It's a wide open body of water with really no guardrails right now.
Where's that exactly?
It's on the corner of Artillery and Hamilton Avenue.
Oh, right past the dump.
Yeah, right past the
Right in
dump,
that
yeah.
corner?
Yeah, they've been
Okay.
working on it for about a week and a half
Oh.
now, and they've taken out hundreds, possibly maybe 1,000 yards, according to my calculations,
Yeah.
bringing it up to the station up the road. It's fairly deep. The machines they're using are long dredgers.
Right.
And so I'm imagining that the pond right now could be, I'd say at my estimate, 6 feet deep to the water, from the water level. The bank level is another 2 feet.
All right.
So I would just, keep your eyes on
Yes.
it. We need some kind of guardrail now. And, because I think you could actually lose a vehicle in there and not know it, possibly.
You might, if you, as far as I know, we don't have that on our list,
Oh,
for
right.
permits. So what you might have to do too is, reach out to the town manager, because
Okay.
it might be a little bit outside our wheelhouse on the
Right, well-
safety part of it, because
Right.
I didn't know. We had a list of ponds that are dredged. As far as I know, I don't see that on that list, so.
Okay, well,
I'll,
it's a full dredge. It's
Okay.
something.
I'll take
And
it right by
at least the comments are on record at
Yeah,
this
thank you. Then
moment.
if you,
Okay,
either you could reach out to the town
Right.
manager's office.
right,
And then they have a public works subcommittee
yes.
meeting. I don't know exactly the date, maybe Mark does.
Okay.
I forget when they meet.
Well, they're still working on it.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
live on that
thank you.
corner, so, I'm home most of the time. I could see, if I don't need to say anything more, I won't.
All right.
Just a smaller thing, I'm a conservationist type of guy. I like to fish. I like to fish in Lake Warmog for years. My wife and I, we've taken various boats in the water, small boats, and we like fishing. So all I ask is, pursuing in the construction phase that's going on, is to maintain the good buffer zone for silt tarps. Should be for every 10,000 square feet of construction space, you should have 100 feet of silt fence. So I just want that on the record also.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, have a great night.
Thanks. Anybody else from the public? We're good. For action on the minutes, A, regular meeting July 11th, 2024. B, regular meeting August 8th, 2024. And C, regular meeting September 12th, 2024. And D, regular meeting October 10th, 2024.
Make a motion to approve action on the minutes A, B, C, and D.
We didn't even get them.
I don't,
Oh, we didn't get it yet.
no, I don't think we
We just
received
have
them.
the bullet ones.
Right.
Table.
Yeah, we tabled them last time.
Right. The table.
Want to make a
I'll
motion?
make a motion to table it.
Second. There was a motion to made and table?
Table.
Second, yeah.
Motion made and second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. 5, pending application. A, application 2024-20 of Robert S. Laflamme for a 2-lot subdivision and construction of a new septic system on Lot B at 108 Butternut Lane. Read this into the thing then or no?
Good evening. For the record, Jim Strube, here on behalf of the owners of the property and the applicant, Bob Laflamme, for 108 Butternut Lane. You'll recall that on the site visit, we all saw some erosion on the side of the driveway. And as a result, we submitted some plans between that and the next meeting, which those plans have now been reviewed by the town engineer and found satisfactory. We do have, I saw the memo that was outside, the health department approval is in place, so we have a copy of that. Copy was sent over, but we have a copy of that we can turn into the record. So given the upland review activities, which are temporary in nature, it's our hope that you'll approve the application.
You don't have this up on the screen, right?
Thank you.
You got this, right?
That's it? Yeah, I don't,
Well, I was gonna
whatever
say,
you need
did
us
you have
to
a new
do.
map or what?
Yeah, that was turned in before the last meeting.
No, about the drainage and what?
That was turned in before the last meeting.
Oh, it was for
Yeah.
what the highway did? Through I thought you just gave it to them.
No, we turned it all in.
Okay.
It was right before, so you didn't
Right.
want to, you needed time for the town engineer to review it, but
We never got that. Okay. Paul, can you explain what they're gonna do up there on the drainage part? We don't have the maps. Or what was gonna be performed?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, they're proposing some infiltrators for both the driveway and the dwelling, and, yeah, it looks satisfactory as far as I'm concerned. The only comments I made was the nearness to the whole project, to the water, to the lake.
this is.
No, this is Butternut Lane.
Oh, I'm sorry, there's two. I'll be all right. Yes, no, for the driveway, yeah, the extra runoff for the driveway
Right.
infiltration, I'm fine with that.
Okay,
And the
so-
drainage, there was a question about the drainage, but I talked to Bob Grand Prix, and that there's no issue with, I thought there might be an issue with the existing drainage, but there isn't, so
Okay.
we're fine. I apologize for confusing the two.
Anybody else from the commission have any questions on this? I guess the only thing, if you took down one of those structures, you probably would have to come back to us.
What do you mean?
If they tore the house down, and then it would be under.
Oh, yeah, they don't want to tear any houses down.
No, but if it did, right? that would be
Yep,
part- that would-
yeah, it's in the regulated area.
Right.
I mean, the connection between the two houses is part of this
Right,
application.
but if they
If they were to remove either house,
build a new house or whatever.
correct.
You're right,
No,
okay.
You're in the, all of it's in the regulated area.
Right.
So you're correct.
So the secretary wants to read the air condition. Yeah, draft motion.
So, a proposed two-lot subdivision that contains a single-family dwelling that will be separated into two dwellings, one on each property. The purpose of the split is to reconfigure the properties and dwellings to make them marketable. The property under consideration for this division is 9.52 acres in size and contain designated inland wetlands. The proposed regulated activities include installation of a new septic tank and pump chamber for parcel dwelling B. The tank and chamber are located within an upland review area and will involve 2,555 square feet of disturbance for installation. The remaining portion of the proposed system will be located outside of the 150-foot review area. At the agency recommendation, driveway drainage for parcel B dwelling will be routed into the stormwater management system to eliminate an active erosion condition. Whereas the agency determined that regulated activities on the subject property include construction of a portion of a new on-site sewage disposal facility to service proposed lot dwelling B. Whereas the total disturbance posed by the proposed development consists of temporary disturbances of 2,555 square feet of landscaped area for installation of a new septic tank and pump chamber. Whereas the agency conducted a site walk on October 5th, 2024. Whereas the town engineer commented on the proposal in a memo dated November 7th, 2024, in which he finds the design for the grass, swale, stone drainage trench acceptable. Whereas the proposed on-site sewage disposal system for parcel dwelling B is currently under review by the Torrington Area Health Department. Whereas the agency has carefully considered all the evidence and testimony received from applicants, consultants, staff as shown on plans. 108 Butternut Lane, Watertown, Connecticut, drawing list. We have sheet number S-1.1, S-.1.2 are both zoning location surveys dated 5/21/24. S-1.3, record subdivision map 6/4/24. C-2.1, overall site layout plan dated 7/25/24. C-2.2, B101A, code compliance demonstration and subsurface sewage disposal system design dated 7/25/24. C-3.1 is B100A, code compliance demonstration and subsurface, I'm supposed to say sewage, I'm sure, disposal system design details notes dated 7/25/24. And C-4.1 details and notes dated 7/25/24. Whereas the agency determined that the proposed activities located within upland review area on the subject property do not constitute a significant activity as defined by Inland Wetland Agency regulations, and the proposed impacts to wetlands and watercourses are minimal in nature. The proposed subdivision is subject to approval from the Planning and Zoning Commission. Now therefore Be it resolved that the Watertown Conservation Commission Inland Wetland Agency pursuant to Section 11 of the Watertown Inland Wetland and Watercourse Regulations is amended, approves application 2024-20 with the following conditions. All standard conditions of the Conservation Commission Inland Wetland Agency. And number 2, final approval from Torrington Area Health submitted to staff when available. And anything else anyone wants to?
Anybody have any
Any other
questions on that?
conditions that we want to add to this?
I just have a question about the Torrington Area Health District approval that we just received. That was dated the 12th of November, and this draft motion was dated the 13th. And the draft motion says that the approval for the septic is still under revision from the Torrington Area Health Department. I think that needs to be changed for us to approve this.
We had just received that later in the day after this was written.
Okay, just making a note there.
Any other questions on this? Want to make an motion, Mike?
How's that motion have to read?
It's already, we just
We
did
did
it.
it.
Yeah.
We got a second on it?
Second.
Motion made in second. Any question on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Six, public hearings, application 2024-18 of Waters of Winnemog LLC for removal of 2 existing cottages and construction of a new single-family home on Lot 11L, Crusoe Drive. Can the secretary read the ground rules for the public hearing?
Ground Rules Conservation Commission Inland Wetland Agency. 1, the applicant or his or her representative will make his or her formal presentation to the commission stating the proposed regulated activities, the wetland impacts, and the alternatives which were considered by the applicant. 2, all comments, discussion, and observation shall be made through the chairperson after proper recognition by the chairperson. This is necessary to ensure that only one person at a time speaks on any issue, thus making it easier for everyone to understand and for clear legal transcription. 3, all persons addressing the commission shall begin by first clearly stating their name and address for the record. If necessary, the person may be asked to spell his or her name for the record. 4, following the presentation of the application, the Conservation Commission and the Wetland Agency will ask specific questions of the applicant. 5, after the commission has asked its questions of the applicant, the chairman shall then allow any members of the public who wish to speak either in favor of this application or against it to address the commission. 6, the commissioner shall then allow the applicant to respond to the comments of the members of general public. 7, the chairman shall then allow any members of the general public who wish to present any additional information to clarify or clarifying discussion to do so. 8, the chairman shall then provide an opportunity for the applicant to respond to these additional remarks if he or she or his or her representative so wish. Number 9, the Conservation Commission and the Wetland Agency has 35 days from the date the public hearing commences to complete the public hearing. The commission may ask the applicant for a 35-day extension of the public hearing period if the commission requires any additional information or wishes to schedule a site walk to observe the situation for themselves. The Conservation Commission Inland Wetland Agency has 35 days from the date when the public hearing is closed to render its decision.
All set? Okay. Thank you. For the record, Jim Strube, an attorney at Secor, Cassie McPartland in Waterbury, here on behalf of Waters of Winnemog LLC, Caruso Drive, and I know we've been on site walk with the commission. I have some cards, the signs. We put 3 signs up. It's a unique property, as you know. So we put one at the end of Flintlock, one at the end of the cul-de-sac on Caruso, and we put one right in front of where the cottages are, just to be safe. Mathematically, I don't think that was required, but I could understand people asking questions if they weren't there. The direct abutters, frankly, and most of them are the town. Then there's a couple other abutters. So I have green cards for notices that I can turn in. Just a little bit of housekeeping, a little bit of history because it's a public hearing. So just want to go through a couple things. We've talked about it at the last meeting. So this is a wetlands application, regulated activity. Chris from Civil One will go over the plans in a couple minutes. There was a revision to the plan. The Health Department approval, the chairman corrected me last meeting appropriately when I had stated that there was Health Department approval. At that time, there was not. Tonight there is, so I can say it out loud this time and mean it. So that's will be turned into the record. Already has been received, I believe, by Mark's office. Just a couple things. It's a unique parcel. There are currently 5 structures. Back before 2000, there were 9 structures. So we're trying to get on this non-conforming parcel with non-conforming structures on it. We're trying to reduce the number over time, clean the place up, which is what was promised in 2006, was over time to make it better, nicer. One thing I do want to emphasize, the road's not changing. The obligation to maintain the road per the deed to the town of Watertown of the underlying fee of that portion of the road, the obligation to maintain the road in a gravel condition at the current width is vested with Waters of Winnemog LLC. That's an ongoing obligation. The gate is controlled between Flintlock and Caruso. The Waters of Winnemog has nothing to do with that gate anymore. The gate was installed, and it's up to the town. Back in 2006, we talked about this last time, there was a lot of back and forth. Should the gate be open? Should it be closed? In the end, we're not asking for the gate to be opened. The gate's there. The gate's closed. I think the fire department can get through the gate whenever needed. In fact, the fire department has a key, but I might suspect they won't use the key if they ever need to get through it. So the gate will remain unless the town decides otherwise. The town has the right, if it wants to take that road in, just like any other road in town. If they want to take it in and pave it, then the obligations of Winnemog goes away. It's a very unique situation. It's basically a contract right through the deed that was accepted by the town of the fee to the property in terms of how that road, portion of road would be maintained over time. So here, called a private road, it's maintained privately, but it is owned by the town of Watertown. So I just wanted that out there so there was an understanding. It's not being paved, gate's not opening, at least not at our request. We did have, and I'll let Chris go through the plans at this point, and afterwards, we did get a letter today from the town engineer, which we'll have to meet with our clients with. I suspect the hearing will remain open, and we'll have to meet with our clients to determine a best course to address some of the items in that letter. But I'll hand it over to Chris to go over the current plans, which were turned in some time ago. No, we can talk about it.
Do you have a map to put up on the screen?
Yes, I do. I did email PowerPoint earlier today. I don't know if I got a chance to send through. Perfect, thank you.
And Mark, we don't have that approval on the septic.
No, it's still under review.
Oh, he just said it wasn't. but-
The health department approved.
Right.
Health Department review?
Oh, yeah, we have it.
So I have that right now. I'm just going to submit that for the record.
Oh,
Oh, I thought you said you submitted it.
Yep.
I thought we had.
Oh, there's some confusion there.
Yeah, sorry.
And I'm also going to submit a letter, just an engineering opinion letter, that the project as proposed will not adversely affect Lake Winnemog or its associated wetlands. There's going to be 2 documents there.
just reference Eric's letter too.
Yep. All right. For the record, my name is Chris Pulowski. I'm a licensed professional engineer in the state of Connecticut. Offices with Civil One located in Woodbury, Connecticut, here on behalf of the applicant. The two letters before you are the septic approval for Lot 11L Crusoe Drive and a professional engineering opinion that the project as proposed will not adversely affect Lake Winnebago or its associated wetlands. I'd like to also introduce into the record, about a week ago, we submitted a letter from Eric Davison. He is a licensed environmental or wetland consultant in the state of Connecticut. He issued a letter stating that the project as proposed, again, will not adversely impact or affect Lake Winnebago or its associated wetlands. That should be before you. If not, we can provide copies. But again, that was submitted about a week ago. Thank you. If we could turn to my presentation, please. If we can flip to the next slide. So Lake Winnebago, as you all know, is located off Lake Winnebago Road, and then the project is located at the end of Crusoe Drive. If we turn to the next slide, please. So this is the existing survey of the property. So about 4 or 5 years ago, there was 4 cottages that were torn down to construct this house right here. There is currently 5 cottages on the parcel. So there's one down the end here towards Flintlock Road. There's parcel 2, a dwelling here, a dwelling here, another dwelling here, and then finally the previously constructed dwelling that was before its commission again about 4 or 5 years ago. If you flip to the next slide, please. So as part of this proposal, the cottage on the end is going to remain. The cottage that was just constructed is going to remain, as well as the one next to it, and the 2 cottages in the center are going to be torn down. So this reduces a couple of nonconformities, which is a zoning issue, but I'll just touch on them tonight. We're going to go down from 5 total cottages to 4 total residences or structures as part of this proposal. The total square footage of those structures was previously 1,255 square feet. We're now proposing 1 residence, which is 1,230 square feet. So we had our surveyor go out there and verify the square footage of the existing cottages to make sure that we were in fact reducing that square footage, and that's why, again, the numbers are 1,255 square feet existing, 1,230 square feet proposed. As part of this application, there's going to be a driveway coming in from the extension of Crusoe Drive here. It's going to come down to an asphalt driveway. There's a stormwater infiltration system located at the end of the driveway. It's going to collect any runoff from not only the driveway, but also the roof leaders. It's going to collect that runoff, slow it down, and treat it and infiltrate it back into the ground. So this will increase the stormwater quality of the project versus what's currently out there. There is going to be a walkway out to Crusoe Drive as well. It's a 3-bedroom house, and previously the plans that were submitted showed a deck off the back towards Lake Winnebago. In the revised plans you have before you, that deck has been removed, and there is now a patio on the proposed on the edge of the house located in this general vicinity. The current distance from the residence is about 19 feet, the existing dwellings that are being removed, and the proposed dwelling is going to be 25 feet from the edge of Lake Winnebago. So we are increasing the separation distance for the new residents as opposed to the existing cottages or dwellings that are on property currently, in addition to also reducing that building footprint. There is a proposed septic system leaching field up in this general vicinity. It's generally identified by the coffee color on your screen. It's approximately 72 feet from the lake. This is above and beyond the required separation distance as required in the Connecticut Public Health Code. And again, we did receive that health approval letter. It is before you. Other than that, there's the wetlands are delineated kind of along the bottom of the screen here. There's going to be some grading occurring for the septic system and to construct the residence and the driveway. We have all proper soil erosion and sediment controls in accordance with the 2002 Connecticut Soil Erosion and Sediment Control Manual. Those include, but are not limited to, anti-tracking pad construction entrances, temporary soil stockpiles, which is located the farthest portion away from the lake. Additionally, we have a silt fence with hay bale backing. There's a limited disturbance shown on the property, as well as all upland review areas. So just one other quick point, there's a 50-foot and the 100-foot lines shown on the screen, that is because the entire property is within the 150-foot regulated area. Although we are only disturbing about 0.44 acres of upland review area in this part of this application, and there is no direct wetland impact. Other than that, I don't have any other updates on the plans. Again, just the field verification by a licensed surveyor of the exact building square footage of the existing dwellings versus the proposed, and then the relocation of the deck, again, from the back of the property. It's been removed, now proposing a patio along the side. So again, further separating the proposed residence and patio from the lake. Thank you.
You said it's 25 feet from the lake?
Yes, currently it's 19.
Okay.
The one structure.
I'm sorry?
That one,
Yes, there's an existing residence that's essentially like right underneath where we're proposing the new residence. That dwelling is 19, it's actually like 18.8, but round up sake, it's
I
19
thought the
feet.
town engineer said it was 37 feet in this letter.
So
I got
there's,
that off their zoning information.
Oh,
Mr.
okay.
yes, we just received the letter today. Thank you,
Oh,
Paul,
okay.
for providing the comments.
Right.
You know, we will be responding to the comments, but just, there's a table for a distance for the previously constructed residence here that shows the 52 feet, and that's where that number comes from. But we will clarify that as part of our response
So
to the town
the
engineer.
first residence is 52 feet from the water, correct?
That's actually from the property line. I don't have the distance to the water from the first residence.
Okay.
Thank you for the question, though.
property line is the water, isn't it?
In
You
the
don't own
property
the
line,
water.
you don't own the water.
Yeah, there's just a tie line across it.
Right.
But we'll, again.
We're going to bring that,
We'll respond.
we're going to continue, yes.
Yeah, we'll respond to Paul's letter.
Paul, do you have any comments on your letter you wrote? For
No,
now?
I was just concerned, with the
Right.
proximity to the lake, Mr.
Correct.
Chairman. So.
The change from the patio, or from the deck to the patio, was that specifically to move the structure further away from the lake, or is it more of a design change?
Design change and then added benefit was, separation distance to the lake as well.
Okay,
So-
now, does the square footage of the house include that 1,230 feet, does that include the patio?
It does not qualify as a structure underneath the zoning regulations.
But does it fall under impervious surface, in these sort of calculations for?
Correct, which is included as part of our stormwater calculations.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the commission?
What's the current total impervious and what's the proposed total impervious area? Not just the structure.
That would just be adding the patio into the footprint of the house, right? Driveway.
Sidewalk, driveway.
So I don't have an exact square footage, but I do have percentages. As listed in the zoning table, the existing impervious cover is 13.1% of the property area, and the proposed impervious cover is 15.1%, so about a 2% increase as a result of this project. The maximum impervious coverage allowed by town regulations is 25, so we are well under that requirement.
Any other questions? I think on the first residence, isn't there some type of buffer between the lake and the house?
What do you
I
mean?
think we required some type of buffer, I thought.
I have to look at the
Okay.
approval.
Cutting no trees or, but,
Yeah, we'll have to look at that approval. I haven't.
Is there a garage on this proposed house?
Yes, it's like garage under, if you're familiar with building terms. It's part of the square foot
Okay.
footage footprint. It's not detached or anything like that.
It's not a detached garage, it's
No.
underneath the house?
It's underneath the house.
Okay.
That's correct.
All right.
Thank you.
any other questions? Do you have any questions, Mark?
No, not right at this point.
Anybody from the public wishing to speak on this application?
So Dan Cochiol, again, 15 Flintlock, and I'm going to be much shorter than I anticipated. Thank you for clarifying about the road. I was also worried about the the lake access area alongside the cottage closest to Flintlock. There's a 30-foot lake access for public use. But neither of those are being impacted if the gate is not part of this proposal. Well, heck, I look forward to having new neighbors.
Anybody else in the public?
So, yeah, I assume we'll leave it open?
You're going to have to work on some type of buffer between, we're too close to the lake here. I checked with White Memorial and what they're doing up in Banham. They have a strict set of rules of what goes on buffers, and they're looking for impervious driveways made out of those Echo block or whatever they are. They have a different set of rules around Banham Lake than here. We're definitely looking for some buffer. No cutting, no dock, no trees cutting down by the water. So either it's a 25 or 50-foot buffer from the water. And then the driveway too, I mean, I know you said you're going from this, but you're going from a seasonal use to a permanent residence, totally different operation. How much the property will be used. I don't think those other houses even had driveways.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say it's all about the impacts and the professionals. So I understand the concerns, and we're definitely going to have time to look at it because we know that we need to respond to Paul also, so we can speak to our professionals and see what we can propose back. But in the end, it is about the impacts and the design such that that we're ensuring that there's no impacts to the wetlands and watercourses, to the lake in this case. So, but we'll come back. I appreciate your concern, and we will look at it.
We've had a lot of complaints and issues up there on other properties.
Sure.
And, this time we're gonna dot the Ts and make sure that everything is here in writing, that we won't get these complaints from the people of what's happened there. Obviously, there's gonna be a lot more attention on Lake Winnemucca as the future goes here and what's going on up there,
Sure.
They're gonna, so.
Yeah, we'll consult with the experts on it.
Through the chair, there's one more question for Chris. At the site walk, I witnessed the limited disturbance flags that were out there. Can you tell me how far they were from the lake? I'm sorry to bring this back up now. Maybe that would be a buffer.
I can show it on the screen if that would be helpful.
Maybe that would be an
Can you bring
acceptable
it up?
buffer if we could figure out.
Yeah, so this, 1 second here, sorry. So this is the lake line, see this right here? And then see this gray line right here? That's our limited disturbance. So we're not right up to the lake. I don't have an exact distance, but if we look at, again, we're here to work with you, so we're gonna go back. We'll take a look at it and see how much we can provide for the buffer. So there are some, I just want to put on the record though, there are a number of constraints in this property. So the septic system, as I mentioned, got to keep that at least 50 feet from the lake, the leaching fields. And then the well has to be 75 feet from that septic system. And we've got to keep that all on the property. So we have to work kind of within our constraints here, but obviously we want to be receptive to the concerns, going to try to provide as much buffer as we can.
Right, because I thought somebody mentioned about moving the house closer to the road. I don't know if that was what Paul's letter or somebody else's.
I don't think so.
No. But
In Paul's letter, it does say that, yeah.
You
If we can make the house narrower with keeping the same square footage roughly.
So again, we're going to have to review Paul's letter and respond. So anything he raises, we'll have a response for.
Okay.
Hopefully you'll like the responses.
Yeah.
We'll see.
See what other options we have for the driveway, put that on your list.
Would you be open to maybe putting like a stone infiltration trench around the side? Like, what is your concern with that? Because we are treating the stormwater that's associated with that driveway.
It's just what, is on the driveway and washes into it's all directed to the lake, correct?
It's
You're
directed,
down to the.
it's directed to the stormwater system, which is going to infiltrate it.
Which isn't right in the front of the lake, correct?
I wouldn't say it's right next to it, but
Right,
it is
but
up,
it's pretty
it's up,
close, yeah.
upgrading of the lake. That is
I just
correct.
know what I've read in the White Memorial. They must have a reason they do it up there.
Thank you.
And they have septics and everything there, so there must be a reason they will not allow you to put a paved driveway in.
Well, that's the properties they own.
Right, but I was going by what other people are doing
I understand.
Regulations on other properties around the lake also.
also, yes.
They don't have
Memorial
regulations on other
regulations.
properties that they don't own.
Not
Bantam
Lake-
does.
Bantam.
I talked to Morris
Bantam,
Wetlands.
Morris.
They-
Yeah,
Right.
correct.
Right. So-
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it just, White Memorial owns a bunch of the lake on the one
No,
side.
right.
Yeah.
I was just seeing what other people were doing.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I have one more question for Chris, if I may. Chris, there seems to, it's not called out, but it looks like there's an arc of a stone wall just down gradient from the proposed septic tank that's not on the existing zoning survey. Is that to be added? It's not clear here what, it looks like. I said, it looks like a stone wall symbol.
Yeah, I believe that's just like existing stones that are out there. But we will
Okay, 'cause it
clarify
didn't
that.
show up
Yeah,
on
we're
the-
not,
it didn't show
we're
up
not
on the-
proposing that.
Okay,
That
it
should,
didn't show
that's
up
either
on-
just going to be there,
All right.
but
I know,
we'll
well, it's
double
probably
check on
going to
that.
get disturbed. So, okay, I
Yeah.
didn't know if that was something you were proposing, because I didn't see it on the existing zoning map, so
Understood. Thank you, and I appreciate the comment.
that's all.
I'd make a motion, we continue public hearing application 2024-18.
Second?
Motion made and second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you.
Thanks, have a great holiday.
Thank you
Thank
guys
you.
so
Thank
much.
you. 7, new applications, none. 8, old business, none. 9, new business, meeting dates for calendar 2025. I don't know, Mike, did you get a chance to check those dates? Does that line up with what it's supposed to? No, these dates. Done that with you.
Oh, no, I didn't get a chance to look at the dates, I'm sorry.
Carol, you went through and checked the date, those dates are all correct for Thursday nights or whatever? Any questions on that?
I think maybe we should entertain taking a July break this year.
We're also supposed to take one meeting with no business and do training.
So we could add that any time.
Correct.
You don't want to have a meeting in July?
Well, I figured it's around the 4th.
Right.
A lot of people are going to be on vacations. It's summertime.
Any other input on that?
We're unpaid. Like, it's just-
Oh, that's where it came from.
Where did it come from?
Planning and zoning, I didn't know.
Planning and zoning does not have a meeting
Okay.
in July.
Everybody else good with that?
Fine.
So we're going to remove July 10th, correct? Mike's going to make that.
What am I doing now?
Make a motion to,
I'll make a motion to remove the July 10th, 2025, future meeting date.
Second.
Motion made in second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any, motion carries. Thank you, Luigi. 10, communications and bills. 11, reports from officers and committee. 8, chairman's report. Paul, there was a lot of discussion on the Facebook and all that about what's going on at Tillery Road. That was never on any of your list that you gave to us. I just don't think you should just go out and start digging wherever, that wasn't the,
From what I heard, Mr. Chairman, that used to be an old skating rink. It was a pond at one time that got filled in.
right.
it doesn't matter, it's being worked on, no one told anyone, and people come up to you, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And we look like dopes out there.
No,
Are you on Wetlands Commission? Yeah, well, we're dredging out a swamp. It's no longer a skating rink, it hasn't been for 45 or 50 years.
No, but we're trying to limit, there's been flooding on Artillery Road constantly from,
I know.
Okay, so
And-
we are presenting what we do is wrong, and that's what we present to the town, to the people of the town. It looks ridiculous. We go out and do whatever we want as the town
Yeah.
and make everyone else conform to these strict rules, and everyone comes in here yelling at us because, oh, you're making us do this, making us do that, but you don't do it. It just doesn't look right. I don't understand how it goes on all the time.
this was taken as part of our blanket approval for
It
excavating
wasn't
detention.
listed.
I understand, but
Right.
it was,
And it's not a retention or detention pond.
I just think.
That's what that was,
Right.
all those, that
Right.
blanket approval was for. We have no problem doing
No.
it. Yes, we understand why it's being done, but why can't we go about it the right way?
I just think we should be careful in that area for contamination.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
thought the town's learned their lesson on Bunker Hill with what's going on there, so I think we should be careful about digging and moving material that we know we're above the landfill in town. I think that was a mistake in my eyes.
You guys didn't approve this, this is what I got. Oh, you guys didn't approve this, why are they digging in there? And I don't even know what they're talking about. That doesn't, you know.
So I think if that's true, I'm gonna go look. If it's that deep, I think you're gonna have to do something about, either you're gonna fill it in or put guardrails. I mean, now we.
No,
may-
guide rail is planned around there. I know
Right,
Mr.
there's-
Giordano or whoever fell on Hamilton mentioned that, yeah.
Right.
There's definitely going to be something. Yeah, we don't want anyone going in there. that's
No.
for sure.
That's all I have. Anybody else have anything under that?
No, what are we under?
Chairman's report. 12 reports from staff. Status of Zorrillo versus CCWIWA. Yeah.
Good evening, Commissioners. I was asked to report on the status of that appeal, and just simply the record, the contract attorneys who are working for the town had asked for a submission of the entire record, as they usually do. We provided that to them last week, and we're now just awaiting their processing of that information and any further questions or advice that they may have for us. Not advice, but any additional information that they may wish to ask for us. So that's where it stands right now.
Right, so it's basically just the instructions have been, or
What's included in the record when you say record was given to them?
So the entire record.
Verbatim minutes?
I'm sorry?
Verbatim minutes?
No, they will provide that. They'll provide that with a transcriptionist.
They'll produce it, we're paying them to do it?
Yes. Yep. That's typical. Typically, no minutes. However, detailed they are rise to the level of being a transcription for court purposes. So they typically the attorney does that, handles that. So we gave them all the information that we have, literally almost everything in the file. Made copies of it, made scans of it. These days they prefer it to be presented in a digital fashion, so we did that. We scanned it into our records. So again, they seem to have everything that they need right at this point, and we're awaiting any further information or requests from them. I was also asked to provide an update of staff, hiring of new staff. So we have conducted interviews for they call it the secretary position. We interviewed three people. None of them worked out. We did have a fourth person who put in an application. She was very interesting to us, and it's in the hands of the HR director and the town manager in terms of making an offer and deciding what would be the appropriate salary. So as soon as I hear anything back, we couldn't let you know on that. In terms of the professional staff person, we are scheduled for interviews. We received probably 10 applications. Most of them had no direct experience with land use in Connecticut. But having said that, we picked the I think five candidates who seemed to have the most, well, again, not experience, but skill level that might work. We have interviews scheduled for the 21st Craig is one of the panelists. We have three other people that will be on the panel, and we'll conduct those interviews and see how that goes. That's all that I have. If you have any questions for me.
Could we go back to the,
What other meeting do you want to cancel?
all of them.
Since you're married now.
What's going on with the minutes? I've missed some meetings because of personal life, but it's hard to figure out, like, I walked into this meeting,
Right.
knew
That's the problem.
nothing of what's going on, so it's hard to provide any input at all without seeing minutes.
Currently, we're short on staff, so
Is that what it is?
that's what the current reasoning is, yes. We ask for full minutes,
Yeah.
for over a year. And that's what we should be getting. So right now, yes, it's going to be an issue because
Is somebody
Office
working
staff.
on the minutes that were behind, or right now there's no work on them?
So the minutes, so there's a couple of things going on. Since we have a transition of staff, I'm looking to reallocate resources in terms of the job duties for both the professional staff person and for the admin. And so the admin spent a really significant amount of time performing those, or putting together those minutes. We do find the need to scale them back to something that we can handle in the office. That's yet to be determined because, as Ned has mentioned, we're completely short-staffed, and that's all we're able to provide at this point. We have been, I've heard this, many times from FOI, the trend for minutes is to be more on a minimal basis than not. What is being provided meets the requirements in terms of FOI, so there's no issues in terms of not meeting any state requirements. As a matter of fact, Tom Hennick has, when we see him, has suggested that more minimal minutes are more desirable because there's less chance of folks reading things into them or taking away opinions that might not be necessarily true. The other thing is that since COVID, the meetings are now videotaped. Those videotapes are online. They stay online. And so it provides a different form of not minutes, but of a recording that's available to folks to view and to see what's happened at the meeting. And so that's where we are right now. Honestly, the minutes are what you're provided will, at this point not change. It would not be feasible to go back and make any different of a record. Again, they are videotaped and they are online for folks to view and to refresh themselves for the meeting. The way that staff operated in the past, the professional staff spent, again, in my opinion, a fairly inordinate amount of time getting involved in administrative work. With the new person, I'd like to see that not be. I'd rather have the professional staff be out in the field, be doing inspections, being more actively involved in their professional role, and not being caught up in administrative matters that would shift the the administrative duties, back to the admin as I think they should be. And in the way that the office, I envision the office running again with new people. We have new digital systems in place. We're getting Municity, the online permitting system, is coming up to speed, at least for land use. Shortly, we anticipate all land use permits can be filed online. All the information can be attached to the digital record, so it takes us away from paper copies, which is, again, in my opinion, been a huge challenge for the office. We spend an inordinate amount of time chasing after paper information, so we hope that makes that better. We have an online complaint system now, and I envision, again, the admin keeping that more up to date and efficient. And the last part of that logistic is we will no longer have a full-time person in that admin role. It's going to be a shared role with the Public Works Department. So that person will be available to us essentially half-time, although it's not specifically divided up like that. It's on a 3-day and 3-day 1 week, 2-day the next week schedule. So because of staff changes and because of all of those things I've just talked about, it makes it infeasible to provide as detailed minutes as has been provided in the past.
Okay, it's very hard for somebody that volunteers. If I have to miss a meeting, I'm essentially sitting here tonight, no idea what's going on.
The other part of that is that we dictate that. You don't dictate that. If we want regular minutes, you give them to us. That is not for you to determine. We determine that.
Well, I would...
You're going to let me finish, please?
Go ahead.
We let you talk? You
Go
let us
ahead.
talk. So, and on Luigi's point, that's for us. It's not necessarily for everybody else. We need that for that reason. If you need to, we're volunteers. We're not here all day. We don't spend all day here worrying about this stuff. We have to do it along with our regular jobs. So if we want to remember something or go back to something, we need accurate minutes. We don't have time and shouldn't be expected to sit and watch an hour-long meeting to try and listen to what was said or whatnot. It should be in our minutes like it always has been, and that is up to us.
I also think that there is, you brought up the technology. There is technology out there that could transcribe
Right.
a meeting. And you can plug it into the computer, it'll do probably 90% of the work, and you might have to put in some names on who said what or whatever, but, I mean, the way we've always done it doesn't have to, we could get the same result doing it more efficiently.
We have looked at various ways to do that, as you're mentioning. In our search, we didn't find anything readily that fit the bill. If you know of any software, want to make any recommendations, we're certainly willing to take a look at that. But again, can stand by what I said. So we're not going to be able to provide that unless we can find something that takes the burden off of the admin. We'll be changing the process a little bit.
Last question. If somebody was to submit a FOI request for a meeting that we haven't approved the minutes for yet, what would happen?
I'm sorry, say it again?
If somebody requests the FOI request for minutes for the September 12th meeting. They haven't been approved yet by us. How would that FOI request play out?
As I mentioned, what is being provided stands adequately for FOI. So if somebody said they wanted the minutes for the September 12th meeting, we would provide that to them. And I've heard it directly from the representative of FOI that meets their requirements. So,
But they're just the proposed minutes. They haven't been accepted yet.
But you can't give out unaccepted minutes. That does not meet FOI at all.
oh, I misunderstood your
I'm
question.
saying, like, these minutes are here, in my opinion, doesn't look like the commission has any appetite to accept them the way they currently are. So if somebody was to request information on pending minutes for FOI, how would that process play out?
That's a good question. I don't have an answer, and I'd have to ask the town attorney.
Okay.
Be
I
happy
just,
to do that.
we're gonna hit this at some point, whether it's tomorrow or 2 years from now, but something that we should be prepared for.
I mean, my thought right now is we would possibly mark them draft and let folks know that they're not accepted, but still provide them. I mean, they are a public record, so I might find it difficult to withhold that information if a request was made, but if we clearly marked them a draft, not accepted, I think that might be acceptable. But I'll ask that question.
Mark, what exactly do you mark draft? And because I haven't seen anything.
Well, actually, now that I
Like,
think
the
of it,
email that you sent-
the motion, they're also called a motion sheet. So it's motion sheet, actions taken. And that is filed within 48 hours with the town clerk. So as we're talking, I kind of take back, part of what I've said I'll correct myself. Those are filed with the town clerk.
So there is an actions
They are a public record.
There is an actions taken sheet that's.
It's what has been provided to you.
Okay.
That is called an action sheet, and it also meets the FOI requirement for minutes. So I stand corrected. They're already a public record, and if somebody goes down to the town clerk's office, they can easily obtain them.
Okay. 13, anybody, public participation?
Well, we have, what happened with Litchfield Road is in wetlands, that the house that you allowed to be torn down and rebuilt and whatever's going on there. There's wetlands on that property and in the adjacent property. The adjacent property owners have reached out to me and questioned what's going on. And the same thing on Route 6. Why weren't those brought to us? Route 6, we had a complaint from the neighbor that the person building that structure disturbed the wetlands on his property. It came to us, it was supposed to get in our meeting for an approval, it never happened. Why has this not happened?
Specifically on this property on Litchfield Road?
Well, on either one of them. Can we put them on next month's minutes for something I don't know how this works. It's just like someone
Agenda.
disturbed, if we found somebody it doesn't matter where the problem started from. If I went and dug and built an addition on my house and no one knew about it, and I was too close or within the wetlands or in the upland review area, and it was caught, that procedure should be followed, no matter how it was caught or who caused the problem to start. That doesn't matter. It needs to take its course, as usual, to be legal. I don't understand why we're avoiding this. It happened, it is what it is. We need to do something about it. Currently, we have a building that's built within an upland review. The whole entire building is in the upland review area if the wetlands are where people say they are. And some of it's probably in the wetlands on Litchfield Road. On Route 6, the guy was draining into the wetlands and he disturbed the area. The neighboring person came to us and we had it fixed. But the property owner that was doing the building was supposed to come to us and that never happened. The office never pursued that.
I'll have to look into both of them and
That's all.
get
Yeah,
back to you.
That's fine, we just gotta figure out, I mean, maybe put it on the minutes for next month, or I don't know how that works. What do we normally do?
Nothing, this don't exist.
Yeah, minutes don't exist,
Well, on the
agenda.
agenda, it's not in the minutes.
It's gotta be an
Right.
agenda, not the minutes.
Yeah, exactly. But if it can be added, how does that happen? The process that Musa used to do when we told him, or he was informed of illegal activity, he started some process. It didn't start with us, it started in your office, and then it was brought to us.
I'm a little bit familiar with the Litchfield Road property because it involved a ZBA. I'm not familiar with the Route 6 property that you refer to. So again, I'll look into both of them and let you know.
Thank you.
We all set? Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion made in second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Was a problem.